When patients present to my practice with neck pain, headaches, tension around the shoulders, shoulder problems, backache and so on, I often ask about their phone usage. But most patients don't really have a clue how much time they spend on their phone. So I ask them to look at the phone settings where it says what is their average time they spend on their phones, and the average numbers they find very, very shocking, and they feel totally stunned, and they immediately say they need to cut that number down. It sounds pretty obvious. If you're spending hours and hours a day bent over, no wonder you've got chronic neck problems. And there's no amount of rubbing those muscles, articulating those joints that will completely undo it if you're not willing to put the time and effort into spending less time on your phones, more time standing upright. So let's go through some numbers. What's the average time each age group spends on some form of screen or digital technology? 0 to 2 years of age, average 1 to 2 hours per day. While the technology can offer interactive educational opportunities such as videos, nursery rhymes, or child-friendly apps, excessive screen use at this age poses significant risks. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends no more than 1 hour per day for this age group. And research published in JAMA Pediatrics links excessive screen exposure in the 0 to 2 year age group to delayed speech, attention deficits, and impaired cognitive function. Additionally, the screen use often replaces play activity, which is essential for developing good coordination and motor skills. Children between 3 to 5 years of age spend a typical 2 to 3 hours per day on digital devices. This age group are more likely to use engaging creative apps like drawing platforms and educational video, but the screen time increases to 2 to 3 hours a day, driven by recreation, entertainment and educational activities. However, it is recommended not to exceed 1 hour per day, even for creative apps. And research in the journal Physical Activity and Health found that children in this age group with high screen use exhibit reduced levels of physical strength and delayed gross motor skill development. Socially as well, excessive screen time has been shown that it can interfere with opportunities for imaginative play and ways to interact with their peers, their little friends, which is crucial for emotional intelligence and empathy. And this is why they recommend no more than 1 hour per day. Children 6 to 9 years of age typically spend 3 to 4 hours per day on non-school related activities, increasing to 5 to 6 hours over the weekend. While technology can enhance learning, the risk of excessive screen use has been shown to become more pronounced at this stage, and studies in the Spine Journal report that increased prevalence of forward head posture, musculoskeletal problems, and this is the age group I start seeing patients who develop pain in the neck, shoulders from prolonged periods of screen use where they hunch over. Preteens, those 10 to 12 years of age, average 5 to 6 hours per day. Preteens represent a pivotal age group where screen habits begin to solidify, with their average usage increasing to 5-6 hours a day and often 7 to 8 hours over the weekend, with boys frequently gravitating towards more competitive online gaming and girls have been shown to go more towards content creation and communication apps. But research has shown that the influence of screen exposure in this age group is linked to mental health issues, particularly the increased risk of anxiety, depression and low self-esteem. Physically, the risk on your posture and the musculoskeletal tissues we've been discussing intensifies. So I see patients with forward head posture, headaches, neck pain and tension in the upper neck and shoulders, sometimes with some sort of nerve impingement causing pins and needles down the arms. This is also the age group where most children get their own phone, so the opportunity to spend lots of periods of time at a screen, it just goes up and up and up. Teenagers 13 to 18 years of age, they typically spend 7 to 9 hours every day for non-school related activities, and they represent the age group that spend the most time on their phones. Published studies have found a strong correlation between excessive social media use and heightened levels of anxiety, depression and sleep disruption, especially in teenage girls. The boys, meanwhile, are more prone to developing compulsive gaming habits, which often reduce physical activity and disrupt their healthy routines. Physically, we'll see text neck and other posture-related conditions very prominent in this age group. setting the stage for chronic degenerative musculoskeletal problems later in life. And if not addressed at this age, will become permanent. And I explain to patients and their parents, if we don't correct their forward head posture while their tissues are still pretty young, they are setting themselves up for degenerative changes such as arthritis by the time they hit their 20s. Adults between 19 and 34 years of age. Their average screen time usage is 6 to 7 hours per day, excluding work-related use. And it's tricky, they've got to navigate a unique intersection of professional and recreational screen life. For many in this age group, screens are indispensable tools for work, communication and entertainment, and relaxing, switching off and unwinding, which drives prolonged sedentary behaviour. Ages 35 to 49, their average screen usage is 5 to 7 hours per day, including work-related tasks. Sedentary habits in this age group not only do they contribute to text neck, but also a whole range of metabolic conditions such as obesity and type 2 diabetes. 50 to 64-year-olds spend an average of 4 to 6 hours daily on their screens, increasing their risks of joint stiffness, arthritis and reduced mobility. For the 65 plus, the average screen use is 3 to 5 hours daily. And when you consider at 65, you've likely got some age-related wear and tear. The increased time on our screens, and particularly our phones, increases the load on those tissues and will cause more pain, restriction, discomfort and stiffness.